Hi everyone, welcome to Emma, a true infidelity story. I'm excited to share a new story with you. Late one night, while I was catching up on some overdue work in my home office, my cute dog Rocky started barking incessantly. His deep, urgent barks pierced the silence, compelling me to get up and check on him. I found him in the backyard, frantically digging near the old oak tree that had stood there for as long as I could remember. At first I thought he'd found a rabbit's burrow, or was just restless. But as I approached, I saw something glinting under the moonlight. It was a small metal box, partially uncovered, and certainly not something Rocky would have buried. Curiosity got the better of me, and I helped him dig out the rest of it. The box was old, rusted, but clearly once cherished, with intricate engravings on its surface. Inside there were several old photographs, a few letters, and a tarnished silver locket. The letters were addressed to my wife Emma, from a name I didn't recognize. The content of the letters quickly turned my confusion to shock. They were love letters filled with passion and promises dating back to the years before Emma and I met. The next morning I confronted Emma about the box. The color drained from her face as she saw the contents spread across our kitchen table. I thought I'd buried those deep enough that no one would ever find them. She whispered more to herself than to me. Her hands trembled as she picked up the photographs, and tears started to form in her eyes. I had never seen her like this. Vulnerable and raw, she confessed that the man in the letters was her first love, someone she thought she would spend her life with. But he had disappeared without a word, leaving her heart broken and alone until she met me. As Emma shared her story, I felt a mix of emotions swirling inside me: anger, betrayal, but also an overwhelming sense of sadness for the pain she had carried all these years. It was clear that these memories were a part of her. She thought she had to hide not just from the world, but from me. We spent hours talking, revisiting our past, our beginnings, and how this buried secret shaped the woman she became with me. It wasn't easy to listen to all this, knowing that there were parts of her life that I was oblivious to. Yet it brought us to a deeper understanding of each other. The days that followed were filled with long conversations, sometimes painful, sometimes healing. As we navigated this new reality, it was a journey of rediscovery, not just of each other, but of ourselves and the strength of our bond. I realized that true intimacy was not just about sharing joys, but also the shadows that we fear might chase the light away. By the time we decided to rebury the box, this time together, it had become a symbol not of secrecy, but of acceptance. We knew that every relationship has its layers, some buried deep, waiting for the right moment to be unearthed and understood. As we filled the hole in the soft earth, I looked at Emma, her face serene under the shade of the old oak, and I knew that despite the unexpected turns, our journey was still one I wanted to travel together. This story reminds us that the past doesn't always stay buried, and sometimes it comes to light in the most unexpected ways. What do you think? Have you ever discovered something about a loved one that surprised you? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if it resonated with you. We continue to grapple with the revelations from the box. Life around us didn't pause. Our friends and family remained blissfully unaware of the storm brewing between us, making social gatherings a challenging facade to maintain. During one such gathering, an old friend of Emma's who knew her from her college days mentioned a name. It was the same as the one on the letters. The air seemed to still around us. Emma gripped my hand under the table, her eyes pleading not to pursue the conversation further. Yet the coincidence nagged at me, and later that evening I couldn't help but ask her friend more about this person from Emma's past. The friend reminisced about how in love Emma and this man had been, how they seemed destined to be together. Every detail felt like a small puncture to my heart, but it was also a window into a part of Emma's life that she had shuttered even from herself. They were inseparable, and then one day he was just gone. It broke her, her friend explained, unaware of the reopened wounds her words inflicted. The following weeks were a mix of cold silences and long nights of discussions. We dug deeper into what happened, and Emma contacted more people from her past, trying to piece together the events that led to her lover's abrupt disappearance. Each new piece of information seemed to both heal and hurt. As if with each layer we removed, we found both the balm for old wounds and the salt for fresh ones. Amidst this emotional excavation, we stumbled upon a crucial piece of information. Emma's old love hadn't left on his own accord. He had been forced to move abroad because of a family emergency and had tried to reach her to explain, but his messages had never made it. It was a revelation that softened the sharp edges of betrayal that had started to define our recent interactions. Understanding dawned slowly, and the space between us began to close as we realized how much of our lives were governed by misunderstandings and things left unsaid. We decided together to seek him out to give Emma closure, and perhaps to free us both from the shadows of what could have been. The meeting was arranged, and as I watched Emma reunite with her past, I saw a peace settle over her that I hadn't seen in years. They talked for hours, and when it was time to part, it was clear that while the past would always be a part of her, it was our shared journey that she chose. Rebuilding our relationship wasn't instantaneous. It required patience, understanding, and a lot of hard conversations. But every step we took was a step out of the shadows and into a clearer, stronger light. Our story had its share of pauses and reminds, but it also taught us that love, when true, is not just about the joyous moments, but also about standing together when the storm hits. So what do you think about facing the past to save the present? Have you ever had to deal with unexpected truths in a relationship? How did you handle it? Let's talk in the comments, and remember, if you're enjoying these stories, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. With the emotional climax of our story behind us, Emma and I focused on what lay ahead. The reunion had offered closure, but it had also opened new avenues for us to explore in our relationship. It was like we were learning to communicate all over again, this time with more openness and vulnerability. We attended couples therapy, where we learned tools to help us articulate our feelings without fear or reservations. Slowly, the trust we feared had eroded began to rebuild, stronger and more informed by our individual truths. One evening, as we walked through the park where we had first met, Emma turned to me and said, "I never knew how heavy a secret could be until I shared it with you. And now it feels like we can really start fresh, doesn't it?" Her voice was hopeful, a stark contrast to the strain that had once shadowed her features. I nodded, feeling the weight of my own relief. Yes, it's like we've been given a second chance to make things right, not just with each other, but with ourselves too. We spent more time together, not just as a routine, but as a choice to deepen our bond. We rediscovered little joys, like cooking together or watching old movies, finding laughter in moments that had once been overshadowed by our struggles. We also made it a point to keep a small garden, a symbolic space where we could nurture new life. Just as we nurtured our relationship, each plant we tended to stood as a testament to our growth and to the resilience of love. As months turned into years, our relationship became a narrative of triumph, a story we were eager to share, not as a reminder of the pain, but as evidence of the healing that follows forgiveness and effort. We began hosting small gatherings, sharing our journey with friends and family, hoping to inspire others who might be facing their own silent battles. Looking back, it's clear that what we unearthed that night with Rocky wasn't just a box of old letters. It was the key to a deeper connection, a way through the complexities of human emotions and relationships. It taught us that sometimes the past doesn't just return to haunt us. It comes back to teach us what we need to move forward. What about you? Have you ever found that facing a difficult truth brought unexpected healing or growth in your life? How did you move forward from it? Share your experiences below, and let's continue to support each other in our journeys. Don't forget to like this video if you found it meaningful, and subscribe for more stories like this one. As the months rolled on, the changes between Emma and me were palpable. Not only had our communication improved, but our understanding of each other's pasts and pains had deepened our connection in ways I hadn't anticipated. It was during one quiet evening at home, after a simple dinner we had prepared together, that Emma brought out an old shoebox she had kept hidden in the back of our closet. "I think it's time to add something to our garden," she said, her eyes gleaming with a mixture of nostalgia and forward-looking resolve. Inside the box were various mementos from our years together, movie tickets from our first date, the map from our honeymoon in Italy, and small trinkets from the holidays we had celebrated with each other. Each item was a building block of our shared history, a testament to the life we had built together. Despite the rocky roads we had traveled together, we decided to create a time capsule burying it in our garden, beside the plants we had nurtured. Let's open it on our 10th anniversary. Emma suggested, her voice filled with excitement. It'll be our way of remembering how far we've come, and how much further we want to go together. This new tradition sparked an idea for a way we could engage more deeply with our community. We started a blog detailing our journey through miscommunication, discovery, and reconciliation. By sharing our story, we hope to reach out to others who were struggling in their relationships, to offer them a glimpse of the light at the end of the tunnel. The response was overwhelmingly positive. People from all over shared their stories of heartache and healing, creating a network of support and understanding that went beyond what we had imagined. Through this process, I realized how powerful honesty and vulnerability could be in transforming not just personal relationships, but also communities. It was a lesson in the strength of human connection and how sharing our stories can help lighten the loads we carry, sometimes without even realizing it. As the day of our time capsule opening approaches, I reflect on the journey we've embarked on since Rocky first unearthed those hidden letters. What started as a shocking discovery turned into a journey of healing and growth that reshaped our marriage and our outlook on life. It's a reminder that sometimes the most profound changes come from the most unexpected places. What lessons have you learned from the unexpected moments in your life? How have you used those lessons to improve your personal or communal connections? If this story resonated with you, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us craft more engaging stories for you.